Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Please, like the video and share your thoughts. In the comments, your feedback helps make the content better. He slammed his hand against the table so hard the silverware rattled. You and that kid of yours are nothing but freeloaders. The words sliced through the air, sharp and venomous. My mother didn't even blink. A small, smug smile curled at the corner of her mouth. She'd been waiting for this. The irony, the roof above their heads, mine. The food they ate, the bills they ignored, the mortgage they bragged about paying off. Every bit of it was mine. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't have to. You have 24 hours to leave. The room went still. My father's face tightened, searching for control he'd already lost. My mother's confident smirk faltered. Just slightly. That was the exact moment she realized the power had shifted. They'd moved in 2 years earlier, after Dad's retirement and the slow unraveling of the savings he'd mismanaged. Out of love, out of duty, or maybe guilt, I offered them my home. They'd always said, family takes care of family. Back then, I believed them. I had built this house from the ground up, brick by brick, paycheck by paycheck. After the divorce, Ethan and I had finally found stability. But when my parents moved in, their promises of help quietly became expectations. And those expectations turned into demands. At first, it was subtle. Dad giving me advice about my finances. Mom suggesting I stop focusing so much on work and start being more grateful. Then came the criticisms. How I was raising Ethan. The digs about how a real father would do things differently. I let it go. For months, I kept letting it go, until one night I overheard them. Half asleep, I was walking down the hallway when I caught my father's voice mocking, dismissive. She thinks she's doing us a favor letting us stay here. She forgets who raised her. Then my mother, low and bitter. We'll play along until we get what we need. She owes us that much. I stood there in the dark and felt something inside me harden. They'd raised me on guilt, manipulation, and emotional control. I used to call it parenting. Now I saw it for what it really was. Control. That night, I started planning. Not from anger. Anger burns out. From clarity. I began with the paperwork. The deed was in my name alone. I made copies, studied every clause about tenancy, notice, eviction. I knew they'd resist. I was ready. Then I handled the finances. Changed all the passwords. Closed the joint accounts they convinced me to open for convenience. Sold the old car Dad refused to fix, still registered in my name. Quietly, efficiently, I called the utility companies, scheduled transfers, lined up every detail. And that night, I tucked Ethan into bed and made him a promise I'd never made before. We're going to have peace soon. He smiled like he understood. Maybe he did. The breaking point came at dinner. Sunday roast, Mom's idea. She always used meals like theater. She poured the wine, set the plates, and began her usual act. How's work, dear? You've been out so much lately. Anyone special? Translation. You're failing again. Dad was already drunk by then. Each glass made his voice louder. Must be nice, huh? Sitting in that fancy office while we do everything around here. I looked at the man who once told me I'd never amount to anything, sitting in the home I built. He sneered. You and that kid of yours are freeloaders. That's when I said it. Steady, deliberate. You have 24 hours to leave. He laughed until he saw my face, until I slid the envelope across the table. Proof of ownership, formal notice, effective immediately. You're no longer welcome here. The next 24 hours passed in silence. No yelling, no apologies, just the sound of packing. Slow, bitter, mechanical. Mom tried guilt. After everything we've done for you. I nodded. Exactly. When their car finally rolled down the driveway, it looked smaller than I remembered. Dad kept his eyes forward. Mom looked back. For a second, her expression softened. Maybe expecting me to cave. I didn't. It's strange, the quiet after years of noise. That evening, Ethan padded into the kitchen barefoot, his hair messy. Are they gone? Yeah, I said. He nodded. Good. We ate dinner in peace. For the first time, the house felt like ours. Later, I found their old photo album on the counter. The one Mom used to show off at every gathering. Family vacations, birthdays, fake smiles, the illusion of harmony. I flipped through it once, then closed it. People talk about revenge like it's a fire, loud, destructive. But real revenge, real justice, is cold. It's deliberate. It's walking away from the ruins untouched because you built your escape route long before the flames started. I didn't need to shout. I didn't need to prove anything. All I had to do was take back what had always been mine. And as I locked the door behind me that night, I realized I wasn't angry anymore, just free.